What's going on, guys? I just want to quickly cover a few things. First and foremost, the Montreal Canadiens are 3-0 against the Bruins and Leafs. Woo! Second, as I'm sure many of you have already noticed, I have not been able to do my post-game reaction videos so far this season, and that is because there has been a new addition to our family, a beautiful little boy to go along with our 2-year-old little girl. So things in the ScotianCanadien household have been absolutely crazy, and when it is quiet in here, I have to kind of keep it that way. Don't worry though, I am definitely planning to be back on the YouTube channel regularly and figure out a way to keep this YouTube channel going because I love doing it. I've just kind of had to prioritize my responsibilities lately, and of course, being a dad comes first. Third, I was on the From Failing Hands podcast in their most recent episode 56 with Mike and John. I urge you to check it out. It's the first bit of content I have participated in since my season preview videos. Check those out as well if you haven't already. Mike and John and I had a blast covering a ton of topics, and I'm sure you will enjoy the episode. And now, the hot topic, the called back goal against Charlie Coyle in the Habs Bruins game. First of all, that was a fantastic game. Absolute blast watching it. That goal, though, you know what? Mike Johnson made a really good point about how players collecting the puck with their foot has become very common in the NHL. And he honestly had me convinced that that should have been a good goal. But it was disallowed, and the more I got to thinking about it, now the big thing is, did he have possession? Did he not? You know what? It ain't a good goal. And I just saw a segment on TSN that 14 general managers have voted it should have been a good goal. That's pretty rough. I hold those guys to a high standard, and I would expect a little bit better. I know emotions are involved, especially for Bruce Cassidy, but come on, when you think about it, this is not soccer. The big thing right now is, did he have possession when he came across the line or not? And you know what? No, he didn't. And if you amend the rule that full possession is using your foot to receive a puck, as I understand it takes a lot of skill to do that, but that opens up a big can of worms of what guys will then be allowed to do with their skates. And in terms of safety, it's not a good idea. And once again, hockey is not soccer. There has to be limits at some point when it comes to using your skate. And then Darren Dreger with they may talk about it at the GM's meetings and address it and whatnot. And anytime we get into controversies about whether it's a good or bad goal or whatever, it's always brought up that the league should want more goal scoring, not be calling back goals. At the end of the day, there's going to be called back goals. And if I'm not mistaken, scoring has been way up in the last couple of years. That's absolutely not a concern. And that threat needs to be stopped as a reason to just keep amending rules. At some point, hockey is hockey. I think we have a great product. I think we have a great sport. And I don't think we need to keep continuing to change the rules just because people have their feelings hurt about goals being called back. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's the end of my rant on that subject. And one last thing. What Carey Price did tonight against Philadelphia was nothing short of brilliant. The desperation saves, how solid he was in net despite a very bad defensive performance. His puck movement behind the net, the poke checks, absolutely at the top of his game. Another clear example of why we have nothing to worry about with our goaltender. And any time that we feel we need to bash him for having a bad performance or letting in a bad goal here and there, we should really reevaluate ourselves. And I'm definitely guilty of it as well. Being an emotional Habs fan, in the moment, I'm all over him. But when you go back and assess, a lot of the goals he lets in aren't his fault. And I've also found that it's mostly performances when he doesn't have a lot of shots against. Therefore, the Habs are playing good defense and typically controlling possession, and Price is standing around bored. And that'd be hard for a goalie, not getting a lot of action. But if you go back and look, any game that he's faced 30 or more shots, he's had a very strong performance. Sometimes it just seems like nothing's good enough when it comes to Carey Price, because if he has a fantastic performance like he did against Philly tonight, we're complaining that The players haven't earned the win. But if Carey has a bad night and the players come up for him, now we're all over Carey. So, God, we just need to understand. We have a good hockey team, guys. Yeah, I said it. And Mike Johnson tonight talking about the Habs not deserving the extra point or not deserving the second point if they were to happen to get it. I love Mike Johnson as a commentator, but it's very odd to see him talk about deserved points, because you know what? Maybe there are some skaters or the forward group or whatever, the defense core, that might not have deserved the win tonight. But at the end of the day, Carey had a great performance. He wears the CH, and the team as a whole managed to tie it and got themselves into OT. Now, they definitely would have deserved both points if they got them. But on the flip side of it, if Philly didn't get any points or only got one, you know, you could say that they deserve them as well. And that happens very commonly in the NHL. The parity is way too good for teams who deserve or don't deserve it to, get points or not. It's just not how it works in the NHL. You can play lights out and not win, or you can squeak a win out and get your points. But it's always going to be close in the NHL. And like I just said, we have a great team. They always give themselves a chance to win. They do not give up. And when one area of the team falters, another one picks them up. And we're only going to get better from here on out. It's been great talking to you guys. Can't wait to get back and be talking to you regularly and get those post-game reactions going. But in the meantime, you can find me in the subreddit Our Habs on Twitter, at ScotianCanadien, Instagram as well, and I'm more than willing to chat with anyone. So it's been great. Talking to you guys, and we'll see you soon. Go Habs, go baby!